What's up, you guys, and welcome to another episode of the Dark Sage's Interlude. I'm your host, Chase the Dark Sage, and this show is brought to you by Beyond Beats and Culture, the best hip-hop show on the platform. And this show is basically about the niches that I want to talk about in hip-hop that I can't really talk about with my co-host, or he probably doesn't want to discuss it, and stuff that I can't really fit on the actual show Beyond Beats and Culture, which, like I said before, best hip-hop show on the actual platform itself. So before we actually get into today's video, make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already, if you want more hip-hop content like this in your subscription feed. But you already saw the title, you already saw the thumbnail. It's time to talk about it, baby. It's time for me to make a video about Yeat and this one project that I've just been jamming so much recently, and that has to be Lyfë. Now, let me give you some context real quick. Yeat is one of these characters that he's kind of like an enigma. He's kind of like a mysterious figure within hip-hop because he doesn't really do much outside of posting his music nowadays. He doesn't really do interviews. He doesn't really actually do media or things like that. He doesn't really post like that. Yeat is this anomaly slash enigma that we really don't know about until he drops music or that he announces that he's dropping music. And he sometimes posts a trailer when he's dropping music. But it's so weird because in this era, and I've talked about it on the show before, we don't really have superstars like we used to back then in the older days of hip hop itself. Like, look at someone like a Playboi Carti who posts a fit pic. The internet goes crazy, even though he hasn't come out with a new album since Whole Lotta Red, which has been almost 5 years since, which is crazy because he promised us an album in 2024. And it creates for this thing where a lot of these artists now would like to be more mysterious and not really play into the social media slash, I guess, internet games, so they don't have to put their personal life or, you know, have to thrive off antics to actually, you know, do good numbers or gain interest or traction online for their music itself. And Yeat is one of those people that obviously was inspired by the Playboi Carti Rage tree, which, if you don't know what rage is, it's a sound that Playboi Carti used that kind of comes from trap. It's like a subgenre of trap, which is already a subgenre of something else as is, but it's a subgenre of trap that's like more heavier and aggressive in production style. And Yeat definitely comes from that tree. And Yeat is one of those artists that you could tell who he's influenced by. He's influenced by Young Thug, Lil Uzi Vert, Playboi Carti himself, and a whole myriad of other artists as well within this rage genre itself, but really more so the trap genre itself. And he's more so, I guess, inspired, and he said it on record before, I believe, that Lil Uzi Vert is one of his favorite rappers of all time. I think you could definitely tell that he's really inspired by Lil Uzi Vert from how charismatic he really is, how personable I want to say he is on a track, because when you hear Yeat, you know that Yeat's presence is on this song because he definitely has a character about him when he comes on this music itself. And that's one of the great things about Yeat's music, is that from all these other artists that actually make trap, I guess, genre music itself, not trap genre, but rage genre music, a lot of them sound like the other person. A lot of them sound samey. A lot of them don't really differentiate themselves amongst the pack itself. And rage has become this new thing where it's like a stimulus package where you get it, you might get some traction because you're using that sound, but you don't really use it in a unique and dynamic way like a Playboi Carti does, or Destroy Lonely, Ken Carson, or who this video is about, Yeat himself. So it's very weird to see like this genre that's already a subgenre of a subgenre itself become so big. All these artists use it, but a lot of these artists to me are really like no names. Like, they're not really memorable, and we already live in an era where there's not many superstars here that actually want to be in the forefront of hip hop and actually do media, actually go talk to these outlets and things like that. But with a character like Yeat, who definitely doesn't like play with all that type of stuff, or at least he's done it less as he's gotten bigger, which is very weird. It's very weird to see a person like Yeat, who we don't know much about, but he stands so much out compared to his contemporaries itself. But in today's video, I really want to talk about Yeat's best project, or one of the best projects I think Yeat has come out with in terms of like his discography and what really works for an artist like Yeat and for the rage genre itself. So let's go ahead and actually talk about it itself. The project I really want to talk about is Lyfë. I think Lyfë is literally Yeat's best project that he's come out with. I know it's claiming that it's an EP. It's really an album. It's like 30 minutes. It's like how many songs? 12 tracks. To me, this is the perfect length for a rage trap genre project right here, because a lot of the times, and especially with the problem, especially with like Yeat and some of his contemporaries, they can make all these songs on these projects and they just be super long, and they don't really differentiate themselves from each other in terms of like sonics or that one song from another itself. Like, look at a project like Up To Me, which I think is Yeat's second or third best project itself, which you can see that this is also under alternative hip hop as well. This project is 56 minutes and it's 22 tracks. While this is one of his better projects, especially when Yeat kind of found his sound, found who he was, and really like laid into and honed that sound itself. Up to Me is definitely one of those standout projects for Yeat, and not necessarily a breakout project because he's definitely broken out on TikTok before this project actually came out itself. But this is definitely when he was gaining a lot of traction and a lot of buzz itself. But one of the problems I have on this type of project right here is that some of the songs do sound the same. Some of the songs are dynamic enough to where they do stand out from each other, and the vibes is always there. And Yeat himself is a character. You could definitely tell he's very what's the word I want to say? He definitely has a lot of charisma when it comes to him, which differentiates him from a lot of his contemporaries, like I said before. And so when it comes to projects like this, 22 songs over 56 minutes, that a lot of these songs ain't really fleshed out fully, and especially with a lot of these songs coming to 2 minutes, which a lot of these songs don't need to be really over 3 minutes, but I don't need a lot of 2-minute songs, because then I'm just like, you could have created a whole more cohesive body of work, which Yeat kind of actually does on 2093. So I do commend him for that, for going for a new sonic round and actually trying to develop this whole new world that he's trying to make with 2093 on that album itself, which is also a good album. We reviewed it. Well, I reviewed it on the channel, and my co-host did not really enjoy it like that. But then we get a project like 2 Alive, which to me was my favorite Yeat project until he came out with Life. And this project right here, this is like, I don't want to say it's everything wrong that I hate with the rage genre, but it's definitely everything wrong that I hate within this era of hip-hop itself, where it's just lengthy and long time-wise, because pause on that, for no reason. Like, a lot of these songs are good, but a lot of these songs also fall to the wayside themselves. There's definitely some standouts in here amongst the pack, but look at this. The original album itself, 20 songs, 62 minutes. Okay, an hour album, 20 songs. All right, so we see there's a lot of 2-minute songs right here, right? But then we get to the actual Geek Pack, which is the deluxe edition itself. 88 minutes and 53 seconds in total. That's dang near a horror movie from the 80s and 90s right there. This is crazy. And especially with some of these songs right here, I do like some of these songs, but I don't think all these songs were really needed. And to me, this is where like Yeat was kind of like, I don't want to say at his peak, but he was definitely like having a buzz, like a huge buzz right here. You can see that he actually has some features on here from a Young Thug, from a Gunna, from a Ken Carson. Some of these people that actually add on to that album and actually bring great features to the album and a great feature to the actual sound of Rage itself. But then we got Life. And like I said, this is an EP, which is so weird to me because this is definitely album length itself. But to me, this is like the best parts of Rage that you could ever get within this genre itself, because it's a 34-minute project. It doesn't keep you in here too long, and to me, the sounds and the sonics are dynamic enough to where they do not sound similar to another song itself. Benny X, I feel like he was an executive producer on this, because Benny X was layered all over the production credits on this actual project itself. And I'm gonna go ahead and call it an album from here on out, because calling it an EP to me just does it a disservice, because to me, this project is so good. This project is such quality within the Rage genre that we really don't have right now. Like I said, one of my major problems when it comes to the Rage genre and a lot of the artists that put out music in this era, a lot of them like to overbloat their projects with songs. And I get it, you want to play the streaming games, you want to get more streams up so your albums can get more sales, yada yada yada, woo woo woo. But this project right here, it has great songs. Each song stands out from each other. The sonics are booming on here, and this sounds really great in the whip. To me, each song brings out a different emotion from me for each like instrumental that we have, and the way that Yeat actually tackles these songs right here. Now, when it comes to Yeat's lyricism, it's Yeat. He's gonna give you the goddamn exact same for what he does from his previous projects itself. But the way that he actually uses this, sequences this album right here, this project right here, and actually like tackles some of these songs, I think that's what makes us more unique and stand out. Because when you have a song like Flawless, Yeat doesn't even really have a verse. He's really there just for the hook, the 2 hooks that he has, and the way that he actually intros this project right here. When someone talking about his money, you know, oh, if my money got sweet, if my money got Kool-Aid on it, I got sweet money, you know, yeah, woo. But the energy that Yeat comes out with, just really aggressive, really hardcore. This is like rock music for like hip hop fans right here. And Lil Uzi Vert, obviously a huge influence on Yeat himself, coming in with a very strong feature verse right here, which is the only feature on this project right here. And honestly, you would think that over time, Yeat kind of like runs out of steam, but on this project, he really doesn't. He really sounds hungry. He sounds invigorated, especially with the sound that him and Benny X really came together and really honed in on and concentrated on this project right here. We get Up Off X, which is a loud begging song, and the way that it goes, it feels like I'm in like Project X, that movie right there. Then we got Out the Way, which is a cool track itself. What It Feel Like, Got It All, Can't Stop, which it kind of like slows it down a bit from what we gotten, gives us a little breather. but then we get right back into it with Crank, which slowly like ramps up in the actual production itself. It gets you back hype. And then we get Talk, which is to me one of Yeat's best songs, top 5 song in Yeat's discography itself. It's great. It had this whole little meme that was happening on social media with Steph Curry. I think he won like a championship. He was doing a little sway back and forth right there. I love this song. Then we get Come On, which is also another hype track. And then this is where the actual album and the sequencing really comes into play, when the actual album starts slowing down and it actually gives you a more nighttime, like not darker production, but more nighttime like feel and atmospheric, to where it's a bit more, I don't want to say cloudy, but it's definitely a bit more like, it fits the vibe of if you're writing at night when you're listening to this right here. System, Holy One. And then we got track 12 with Killing Them, where Yeat is actually talking about like, yo, there's drugs, it's killing them, all this stuff is killing them, the guns is killing them. The fact that we got a more deeper and more introspective track from Yeat, a song like this, it really surprised me when I heard it, because I'm just like, Yeat really did that. He's very self-aware of what he's doing, but he's like a new baby Future, to where it's like, oh, I'm on all these drugs, I'm doing all this stuff, like I'm on all this type of stuff, even though Future has admitted before, like, yo, I just be rapping about that. I don't really be doing that much stuff compared to what y'all think I be doing, because I rap about it in the music itself. So I really do like this track right here, to where it actually ends out the project itself. While it still has that Rage sound, it's a way that Rage has like, I guess, reinvented the wheel with Benny X's production, where he kind of like uses the Rage sound. Obviously it's the Rage sound, but it's like, it's different, it's more unique, it's a bit slower, but it's still aggressive, and it's still that sound that you're familiar with from Rage itself. But overall, man, I think this project is perfect. 34 minutes. This project sounds concentrated, it sounds dense. The actual production from each song to another song stand out from each other. The way that Yeat is actually on these tracks, and the way his charisma carries him, and the way that he actually flows on some of these tracks is very unique, even though these are flows that he's used before. But no song sounds like the other when it comes to actually listening to this project right here. And I gotta say that I really love Lyfë. I've been jamming this bad boy back to back, and like I said, it's one of my favorite projects, mostly because of the actual time length itself, because it's only 34 minutes. That is a quick drive to somewhere you're going, where you could just literally listen to this, you fully hear the project, you're like, dang, I really went through this whole project, and I wasn't tired of any song that was on here. No song overstays its welcome. Obviously, as you can see, it does this 2-minute format that we've been talking about already. Some songs do go over the 2 minutes, going over 3 minutes, but still, none of these songs I felt were dragged out. All these songs had high energy, the production was fantastic, Benny X really did his thing on here, and Yeat sounded really hungry when it came to this project right here. But I just want to talk about Lyfë, because I think that it's Yeat's best project so far. I do like projects like Afterlife and Lifestyle itself, which are sequel projects, I think, to Lyfë itself, with Life being 1. Obviously Afterlife being 2, and then Lifestyle being 3 itself. I do think that Lyfë is the best project, only because of Yeat finally honing in on this Rage sound to make him stand out and be a lot more unique than his contemporaries that's also using this sound as well. And he knows how to have a good like beat selection, and whoever's in his corner picking some of these beats, whoever's producing for him like Benny X, they know what they're doing with the sound as well. Benny X to me is a really good producer, especially with working with other artists like Freddie Gibbs and Drake himself. But you guys let me know what you think about Yeat. Let me know what you think your favorite project is from Yeat. What do you think is the best project from Yeat himself? I know we really don't talk about Yeat, and we're probably not going to talk about Yeat because there's not really much to talk about besides the actual hype factor and the aura that Yeat really has, which is basically a newer term for like glaze for the younger kids right here. Oh, he has so much aura. Oh, the aura that he's oozing. When you think about aura, and for the people who don't know, think about when Goku came to save Krillin and Gohan from the Saiyan invasion, and when he was charging up and Vegeta had a scouter and said it's over 9,000. That's basically what aura is, which literally in Dragon Ball Z, that's aura. But think about that. What Goku was exhibiting right there, that's aura. That's what a lot of these kids say that these artists have that are mysterious and that seem very cool. They have aura. It's just a funny term and it's hilarious. But I love these new hip slang terms that we use in hip hop itself. But like I said, let me know what you think about this video down in the comment section down below. Like I said, thank you guys for watching. If you are new to the channel and you haven't already, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, like the video, and hit the post notification bell. And this has been another episode of the Dark Sages Interlude. I'm Chase Dark Sage. Peace.
See, when I ain't had no money, I still had sauce. See, if you don't got no sauce, then you lost.